Hello and welcome. This is Danish. This is a great video for people who are following cybersecurity program in JSS or for anyone who just wants to get motivated and how we work with our members to learn practical IT skills. And then if they're going to cybersecurity, then how do we do all that to help our members? Here's an example of Aman who started in 2022 and he did all the training with us in IT Pro program. This is for someone who don't have any IT background, they want experience, they want hands-on practice, they want references, and then they want a mentors to be able to guide them throughout their self-paced learning. So here's a perfect example. Amanjot started with us with no background in 2022. You can see his message after doing all the study, test out, practical labs, and then he finished everything, went out with a resume, got the job. This is his message. I'm happy to announce that I received an offer for help desk. And then after that, he mentioned that he needs references, so we gave him references. Long story short, he spent another 2 years getting all the experience and everything, and he found that he wants to do cybersecurity because he's looking around and he's probably working with other engineers. So he liked that career. So he approached us back and say, okay, I already got successful because of JSS, so I want another try now to grow my career. So this is a part one progress that I want to show you, and we will do the part two when he gets everything finished. So then, of course, he went to our coaching program. He paid for the cybersecurity program, which is available on our website. So let's go to that, and now let's see where he is. So here's his progress over here. We went through, and you can see how back and forth everything is going on. The cybersecurity engineers are there helping him, just like how we did it in IT support. He got the job because of this back and forth sequence, and he got education done like that. So one thing I want to just prove from this video is that nothing is easy. You have to put your efforts into it. You have to get into these labs. You have to communicate with people and grab that information. It takes time. It gets boring. It's okay. That's how life works. That's how we all go in this career to the advanced level in a smart way because we understand that this type of stuff takes time and patience. And if you do it the right way, you can see where Aman is going right now. And Aman is not the first one. I'm just showing this video because we do meetings and we capture data and everything. So sometimes we like to compile things together. We have hundreds of people who have done it before. So next, I'm going to show you a full meeting that I did with Aman that how he's doing in his cybersecurity program part one, where he has to finish our Comptia test out material, and now he has that foundational knowledge before he gets to our labs. And then moving on, we're going to get him to the last point where he's going to pick up that resume and go after these jobs. All right, so you have finished the Comptia Security Plus. So the first thing is overall, how do you feel so far for that course?
Yeah, I feel good. It's just as we discussed in the past, it's a lot of reading. So within the 3 to 4 month time frame, you can kind of forget a little bit, but then sometimes it'll the modules will kind of repeat itself, so that kind of helps. I think like once I start the practical labs, I think it'll definitely help me process the information a little bit better rather than just the theory. So I'm looking forward to doing the practical as well.
All right, so I'm actually looking at your report just because I Shahid probably shared a lot of it with you in your, like daily reports or weekly reports. And I see that everything is done. So you don't want to attempt the exam,
Uh, I can attempt it later, but right now I just want to focus on like
just
everything
getting the
else.
practical. Okay.
Yeah, I want to do some of the networking, the Linux, and then the practical, and then that's also gonna help with like studying for the exam. So I'll definitely prioritize this first before attempting the exam for the certificate.
Okay. For the CompTIA one, right?
Yeah, for the CompTIA one.
Yeah. And as long as I think you do have now extra access, I feel like you should take advantage of this and maybe you should give it the test out one too, because I think they still offer that even under CompTIA now, which is little strange that they have the certification under test out still available, and they have official certification. And the reason I say that, it's available in your voucher. It's free. So even if you fail it, it doesn't matter, right? You can just say, okay, I'm no problem. You just had a good try. But if you pass it, you get to keep a little bit of an official certification certificate under CompTIA. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you're talking about the
The
second
test out.
the test out certificate, right? Right.
The test out certificate, yeah. So if you get that, this is still is it will show. I think the certificate now show a logo of Comptia Plus Test Out, and then this shows like you passed a security pro exam, and that just adds more value to your resume. And when you talk to people, and okay, I got this extra certification, so it's always good to have that
Okay. So is it where would I do the exam if I were to choose to?
in test out. So you will let me know I'm ready on this date, and I will schedule your voucher for that date, and then you'll just attempt it whenever you want it. This is not a like a proctor exam. You just sit down and just like finish it in 2 hours or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, I'll consider it. I'll probably look at
Okay.
some of my notes and while I'm doing the other stuff and possibly do some of the test exams, the practice
Okay,
exams. And then
got
if I'm
it.
comfortable, yeah, I'll let you know.
Got it. Okay, so now let's coming back to your practical access with JSS. You have this access, the premium access with us, right?
You said you were going to look into it and let me know after we had this meeting.
Okay, we can look into that. But right now, I'm logging as a premium member. So once you log into your premium membership, the first thing we mentioned that you still need to go through some of the Linux and basic networking in this roadmap, which a lot of people do when they don't do the test out, right? Everybody goes through this flow. But in your case, you're not going to go through the part one, which you have already done a lot more than part one in your test out. Okay. So what you need to do, you need to go back to your roadmaps in JSS. Once you click on
Okay.
roadmaps right here on the left side, you're going to scroll down and here's Junior Cybersecurity Analyst Roadmap. You're going to click on Start. In your profile, it might say, if you haven't started, it's just going to say Start. And on the top, there's going to be another button. You will basically click on it to make sure that your progress is being captured in JSS now.
Okay.
So from your previous training with us as an IT support professional, you've been with us for a very long time. So you have done A plus with us, you have done Security Pro with us now, and you're moving up. So some of this you already know. If let's say you feel like I wanna touch base on the networking again, then you can take this networking fundamental course.
Okay.
Okay. So let me open this and just quickly kind of run through it.
Okay.
If you look at it on the left side, it's just a repeat of what you have already learned. OSI model, network topologies, virtualization, IPv4, IPv6 ports. I'm sure you know these things, but you may need a little refresher if you want to go over. These are all mostly videos in the beginning because we don't want to go back and teach everything from scratch. That's like for networking people who want to become a sysadmins or want to become network engineers. So for cybersecurity, if you have that background knowledge, like an A plus, all that things that you have learned and you have done some work at the company, you don't need to go back to zero. You can just kind of brush through this area and say, okay, you know what? I'm having a little trouble understanding, let's say, wireless infrastructure. So let me just go over it. So that's what you're going to do. And then once you come down to this area where it says network security labs, then I think you should kind of go over this from a practical point of view, just so if somebody asks you a question about access or SSH or port security, just so they can test your knowledge at the network level, which not a lot of people do, by the way. But I mean, this could be a very technical job, and then somebody may want to test your skill set, so you can just kind of go over this, so that will just give you more confidence. So these two chapters are kind of important if you just want to make sure that, you know what, let me just brush up everything at the network and at this Windows security level, which is basically like dealing with group policy, Active Directory, and I hope you already have done this in our A plus training as well.
Yeah. Okay, so just skim through the chapters, whatever I'm not too familiar with or I just want to brush up on, and then just focus on the labs, the two labs.
Right. Because the rest is just videos anyways. There's not a lot of labs going on over here.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
this is, yeah, this is mainly for people because when we get people like from cybersecurity and then they have the networking background, they have a systems administration background, we don't want them to do all of that again and again, again and again, right? We just want to give them this a brush up kind of thing to say, hey, if you want to jump to cybersecurity part one and part two, and if you don't do these things, then know that you're going to have problems in this career then. So this is just a warning type of thing that we do. Like that's why we say fundamental here, right?
Yeah.
So going back to the roadmap, you are gonna then focus on the Linux, which is very important because most practical things that you have to do in cybersecurity in the cybersecurity analyst that we're teaching is a lot practical. And everything is on Linux. Most of like the tools that you're gonna use, you're gonna require to use Linux. So if you're not good at Linux, good as in like just moving around Linux, you're gonna have problem. Okay? So here, this is the after your fundamental, when you finish those two labs, then you should focus on Linux. So let's go ahead and open this course. I'll leave this right here. So let's go ahead and start Linux. Now, you see, we created Linux for people that will be dealing with Linux type of skills, even at systems administration, cloud security, and things like that. So like Linux is gonna be everywhere when you go in your career and you grow, and even in cybersecurity, or if you want to move up to another advanced career such as DevOps or things like that, you're definitely gonna come across Linux now. Okay,
Yeah.
so going through Linux is going to be important right here. I would want you to start with an introduction to Linux, file and directory editing. Think about it. You're working with like a file, and then let's say you have a vulnerable file, and you have to do something with it inside the Linux editors. And how do you do that? In Windows, we are so used to it, right? We're just going to open Notepad here, there, there. But then
Yeah.
you know about Linux, how you're going to play around with those things. So you don't want to get stuck. And then when you go to the access control, back files and stuff like that, this again, every Linux, OS that you're going to come across, you're going to need to know how to update it, how to manage it. Um, Identity management. So this is basically for like management or access management and stuff like that. Just like in Windows, we have file access that you deal with. So here you're going to do the same thing.
Right, right.
Remote connectivity management. And you see, when it comes to like, for example, when it comes to here, like remote connectivity, managing processes is going to be is also something you should know. But like remote stuff, storage management, logical volume manager, this becomes more of like an operating system level skills. If you feel like you're getting a hold of it and you know you can move around Linux, then you don't need to really do a lot of these labs. If you get one, like you go to a chapter and you do one or two labs and you get the idea, then I don't want you to spend too much time just going and researching and exactly what is RAID in Linux or how to do RAID in Linux, because that's not what you're going to do in cybersecurity in most cases. That's
Right.
going to be systems administration for Linux who's going to deal with this sort of stuff.
Right, right. But do you think I should
Okay.
at least still go over everything in this
Yeah, yeah.
Linux?
That's why I'm going through step by step just to kind of like give you a hint that even if I'm opening it, like you don't need to do every single thing. If you feel like this is something to do with like more of like a management piece, then you don't need to do too much like searching, what I'm saying. But for lab perspective, you should go over it. And let's say you don't even want to do the lab, you can at least watch the video, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So these are videos, these are right here, like these are actual exercise videos. So if you say that, okay, I want to get into the cybersecurity practical part two course quickly, and I want to get through this very quickly, like the Linux part, I can just watch the video for some of these labs, and some I will do because they are related to cybersecurity.
Hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. If anything, once I get to this and I start doing it, I could just like update you on where I'm at and how I feel,
Yeah.
and then
And you can directly tag for this, like if something is not working here. So when you come to JSS labs, there are two things you need to remember now. Now you're using a real system, real labs, right? This is not simulated anymore. So it's not like going to be an extremely step by step where it tells you, oh, you did a mistake right here. These are real systems. So when you get into a system, you have to follow a documentation, and step by step, you have to go through that documentation and you have to perform to learn the skill, which is the real way of learning IT. Because when you go to a company, they're going to have documentation for you to follow, they have procedures to follow. It's not going to be like a test tag where it says, oh, you did a mistake here, right?
yeah,
So here is another thing that is being tested. That's your patience. Can you really sit down in front of the lab? And if it's 15 exercises, can you really go through those exercises step by step without getting annoyed? If you do get annoyed, you should take a break and then work on that. And tell yourself that that's not how I'm going to be at work, because no one's going to be able to take that as a positive thing. You can't go to the manager that I got annoyed because I have to follow documentation. They're like, okay, we can't do
yeah,
anything right?
yeah,
So so it's going to really test your little bit of that do you have patience to sit in front of a computer to do a lot of these tasks. And if let's say a task is having a problem, come back to the video first. If the video have the solution and you're doing a mistake, you don't need to wait for Shah to answer you to fix the lab, or there's something wrong with the lab. Or let's say the lab is totally not working, then you have to reach out to the lab support. That's the difference between test out. Test out is a simulated thing. You restart it, everything comes back, and it's like wherever you left. Like it's like it never gets to an error point. Here, maybe the system may have some sort of update issue. We don't know that, right? Something happened to a system. Who do you reach out to? You have to reach out to the lab support for them to fix the actual lab. Okay.
okay. Is it similar to the networking section where the labs are on the bottom? Like if you scroll down, these are just videos, right? The labs on the bottom.
Yeah, and some of these labs are right here on the bottom of the left side. You see
Oh,
the
okay.
practice live. So each
Okay, got it,
section,
got it.
when you cover the section through video, you can do it, or you can open the lab right here and then start the exercises. And if you get stuck, come back to this section and just watch the video. So
Right,
whichever way you like
whatever
to
works.
learn,
Yeah.
that way you should follow.
Okay.
In
Sounds good.
some yeah, in some courses, in some new courses, what we're doing, we're putting an exercise lab right below the video. In this course, that's not the same case. So it's like a full exercise and then you have a lab.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I noticed that
Yes.
there was also a second part to it. There's a second module for Linux. I think that was just the lab section.
No, this is the full course. This has everything, like all the introduction, all the exercises. We don't have any other Linux courses. This is the
Oh,
brand new Linux lab that is available to us, and we made a video recently, probably like a few months ago. So it's pretty latest.
yeah.
So because yeah, you can see right here it has the new versioning controls, containers. These are like the new technologies that people are using. So all of this, like if you go through this, I think you're gonna have a very good knowledge about Linux, and which you really need to know anyways. Like if you want to move up in your career at the very advanced level, you're definitely gonna come across Linux. And when you do Linux, you're going to also do Linux at cloud level, and then you're going to start hearing container version
Yeah.
control, blah blah blah. Those things are
Yeah.
going to come to you later on.
Yeah. 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 Okay.
Okay, so this just adds more experience on your resume. Like if I pick up your resume and I see that you got Linux with version controls and something more advanced related to Linux, I will take that resume a little more serious than a person who just came out from college, or let's say even an IT support, like with Security Plus. training, which most
Yeah.
of them will have that. So you're doing a little unique stuff over here, which we always do in our platform. We want to make sure our members are a little more, they present themselves a little more advanced than other people,
Right.
which you are doing that, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people apply to Security Plus jobs right after Security Plus certification or training, which that's why where they find it harder because they don't add some of the things that you know other experienced security professionals know about this career.
Hmm.
Okay, so this is what you need to do. Just go over this course and then let us know when you go over it and you say, okay, I'm done with this course. We'll check your just your progress and everything, and then we'll work on the certificate. Okay.
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 Um, now, what is
So
this one?
now,
The
which one?
one right under it. It's the same thing, right? It's just
This
there's a
is a
course
this
section and
this
then there's a lab section, right?
this is what you need to skip because this is for the people who have not done our IT pro like you. You're a pro member, right? You're a program member. So basically, you're doing test out. The member who are just premium members don't have the access to the test out or Shahid and all that sort of good stuff that you have. So you have went through all of this in your test out. You're free to open it and just kind of go over it just to kind of say, okay, why are they making me skip this? It's your choice, right? You can always sit down for 10, 15 minutes just to kind of go over it. Why are they making me skip this? This is all what you have done in test out, and you don't need to go through all of these 5 hours of talking again and again. You have already done network appliance, port security, firewall types, data classification. You have done that in test out, right?
Yeah.
And this is all talking. Most of it is talking, talking. And if you feel like you have time, then you can go over it. With that, the reason we tell people to skip it is people like you who are in program is that we don't want you to never end this program. Okay,
Yeah.
so you already know this stuff, and again, you have access to it. Anytime you feel uncomfortable about specific topic, you can always go back then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is all video. There's no labs or in this part one.
Yeah.
But if somebody don't take our pro program, which they don't have Shahid with you, they don't have Shah in there, they don't have test out, they didn't do all the labs, they cannot skip this then. If they skip this, they will not know anything in part two then.
Hmm.
Okay. So you
Yeah.
already did this part. And so what you need to do now, you're at the last part, which is Comptia Security Plus 701 Part 2. So you're going to open this after Linux. This is going to be something you need to now do step by step. You cannot skip anything over here because that's your like a real experience project with us where
Yeah.
we will give a reference based on this course that you have done all of our security training hands-on on real systems. So when you go to the security concept fundamentals, you see there's a video called trainer knowledge share video. This is something Shahid made for each and every section. So he has a lot of experience in cybersecurity for many, many years of experience. So what he's doing, he's telling you that in security concept fundamentals, this is what actually happens in the company. And then you come down and you do the lab exercises. And now in this course, if you click on exercise one, you see the exercise lab is right under the lab is right under the exercise. This is the new method that we are using. Okay.
Can I see that again? So it's the exercise and then
Yeah,
the
under video, there's exercise. So
okay.
you don't have to like scroll down and open the lab all the way to the
Right.
bottom. It's every exercise has its own video.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry, lab. So again, let's go to this one. Threat vectors and attack surfaces. Now, if somebody tells you this threat vectors and attack surfaces, what does it even mean in a real world? Like, who's going to tell you that? Like, what does it even mean, and how does it even look like in real world? So this is where you see the trainer knowledge video. This is very important. This is
Hmm.
like somebody sharing their knowledge at business in a business world, and they're like, "Hey, this is how 5 or 6 exercises looks like." And it may not be a demo. It's not going to be something like he's going to show you how to configure things. It's more of like info about you're doing practical stuff in exercises, but before practical stuff, you know what it means in the real world. So after this course, when you go out in the public, you're ready for this job. There's not like if you want to do more than this, you're just becoming more of like an expert or more experienced type of cybersecurity professional because you have done a lot, and when you finish this, you are properly ready for cybersecurity. You just need to get a job after this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So of course your journey does not end with us in this. You're gonna finish this, you're gonna start applying for jobs, we're gonna look at your resume, Shad's gonna look at your resume, and then when you get a call, you need references, and we have been doing just like for your first job, right? How we
Yeah.
share your
Yeah.
references and everything. We're gonna
Yes. Yeah.
share the reference, and hopefully you're gonna get the job, and then you're gonna come back and say, I want to get more advanced in cybersecurity. So what's happening next?
Mm.
Shahid is coming out with his own custom course. The custom course is built on a normal virtual box, the way how cybersecurity just learned. So it's going to be outside of practice lab, and you're just going to build labs just like the way he's doing it in his course. So that's about 30, 40 hours worth of course that is being developed right now. So that's like you're going to the next level where you are now grabbing a lot of knowledge, a lot of practical knowledge from somebody who's in this industry. And then we're adding more advanced labs later on, like ethical hacking and stuff like that. We're doing that as well. So you're going to have a pretty good long route in cybersecurity once you get in. But this is your target, the
Yes.
academic target with us first.
Yeah.
So far, what do you think?
No, it sounds like a plan. I just have to just get this networking portion over with, and then just prioritize Linux, and then we'll meet once more. And then once I'm ready, I'll start this practical. Because yeah, this is like the bread and butter. Like this is what's gonna help me in the interviews. Show them that I understand what I'm talking about and apply that and show them the
Yeah,
practical
because
stuff.
and every time you do these things, always keep in mind my technique of getting an interview done is whenever I'm going through a chapter, at the end of my chapter, I just ask myself a question. What if somebody asked me this in an interview? How would I answer it? So if you can come up with an answer, that's something you will do like something like great for your interviews. Because if you look at it on the bottom, what did we add right here? Interview questions and answers. Not for everybody, but look at this. You know, all these questions over here, and then
Mm,
it has answers in there too.
mm.
Okay.
Yeah, that helps.
So this is what you need to, if you go through all this, you're probably going to cover like more than 50, 60 interview questions. And if you know this, then I think you're good to go.
Yeah.
Okay. So this
Yeah.
is your goal now. Next is going to be this one. They aren't going to be able to do a lot of reporting on this side because this is more of like a real system. So we were the only report we can just do like more like, okay, did you do the labs or did you finish? Which course did you finish? So you got to keep us updated. Like, okay, I finished Linux. I'm getting on to no, sorry, network. I'm getting on to Linux. So you need to kind of update us with your progress. We can see where you're going, but of course we cannot pinpoint it like test out. Okay.
Yeah.
This
Yeah. I
is what
remember
we need
that
to do.
like last time. Yeah, it was like that as well.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll definitely keep you guys up to date every time.
Yeah, and I'll share this with Shahid. This video is being recorded. Some part we're gonna share it with our public members as well, so they also know. There's a lot of people that they want to know how do we do this thing in program, so they should know this from this experience.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's it. We just focus on this. We're getting near. You have done the half work. Great job on that. And now the half is this one, which is the real stuff. And let's make it a success story, like your first job, like IT support. Man, I'm happy for you.
Yeah. We'll do. Thank you for the support once again, Danish.